Just trying to tweet.
What?
Just trying to tweet.
Wow.
I do that old Twitter thing.
Tweeting in the middle of our podcast.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm doing today. How are you all? Happy post-Thanksgiving. I didn't pee before the podcast, so I'm going to have to go pee in about the next 10 minutes. I have a migraine. Mark fell asleep for part of the episode. I'm fucking hyped. Are you fucking hyped?
To be fair. No, there's no to be fair. I was in a food coma.
It wasn't like the best episode. This was a weird episode. A very small episode.
It was kind of bad. Well, bad as in just not exciting, not interesting.
It was one of those things where it was like very suddenly it was 9:43, and I was like, okay, I guess we're almost done.
Welcome, Kayla.
You might see a special guest appearance. Oh, there she is. There's
Woo!
the special guest.
Hello.
Woo!
Welcome to the show. What's your
Look at
name?
you.
You're not gonna respond?
She said her name was Rat.
Rat? Oh. A weird name for a cat.
I had her earlier and she just burred at me and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I won't do that again.
She knows the vibe.
I came here on Wednesday with one apple peeled thumb and one cut on my finger from touching a knife's blade. Now I have a second apple peeled finger, and I cut myself while chopping stuff up. I didn't tell you about this. I shoved the knife in my finger, which was really fun. And I pinched my finger between something. I can't even remember now. So.
Just a mess. Well, welcome to our wrestling.
Left hands.
Welcome to our wrestling podcast.
Baby. I've got part of a gin and soda. I've got part of a Voodoo Ranger IPA. Got all of this sour ale. I've got a really bad headache. I'm still gonna get through this stuff.
And I
also have part of a bottle of water.
Oh god. I've got almost half a glass of water. And an empty glass that used to have water. And that's it.
Wow, that's lame. Straight edge.
Yeah. I've lost my edge.
Alright. Oh look, you can see the cat's ass.
Perfect. Exactly what the whole world wants to see. Welcome, cat.
Indignant.
She's mad.
Like, oh yeah, she knows there's a camera. Well, Amish girl doesn't care for that shit.
Yeah.
You don't talk about the news?
No.
Alright.
Let's skip it. Moving on. Alright, matches and promos. We started off with Jey. Does he actually want to start with the news? I mean, I guess we can if you want. Alright.
What? You're looking at me. I don't want to be looked at. Perceive me, kitten.
What'd you call her? Creedon?
I said kitten.
Oh, okay. That's better than Creedon.
Oh dear God. I just updated my laptop too, so now I'm like scrolling and things are happening. It's a bit overwhelming. Alright. Let's start with I don't know. Rick Steiner's son, Bronson Rex Steiner, got a tryout for the WWE. There's no real word as to like whether he did well or not, but that's an alumni hiring.
Mm-hmm.
Tom had to go through a tryout.
Very exciting. You seem very enthused.
Because I just said a question and you just ignored me.
Oh, sorry, it didn't sound like a question. What was the question?
I wonder if Dominic had to try out.
You see, the cynical side of me says no, because, you know, Dominic. But the realistic side of me is probably thinks yes. Just because, like, that's how it normally goes, because I'm sure Charlotte Flair had to try out. It's just Dominic had to skip.
All the way up through NXT.
Yeah, but Dominic didn't have to go through NXT because his father's active in WWE.
Rick was active when Charlotte started.
I don't think so.
Agree.
Not like as active as Ray.
Ray's barely active. Ray just stands next to the ring. We just assume that he's been in it fighting.
By the time Dominic was introduced, he was like actively wrestling, because that was like right after Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah. Good days. So, speaking of NXT, Kendrick is back as an NXT producer. So, in addition to Hurricane Helms being brought on, and Live being brought back, and Kendrick is the next person that's been brought back.
Wait,
so,
Bryan,
not the NXT stuff.
Bryan Kendrick? Like the Bryan Kendrick?
I would assume it is the Bryan Kendrick.
Well, because on 205 Live, there's a guy named the Bryan Kendrick. I'm just wondering if that's the same guy.
I believe it is, judging by the article. I didn't see the article, but let's see. Oh, Bryan Kendrick. I know who that is.
Yeah, we watched one of his matches.
Yeah. I do believe it is that Bryan Kendrick specifically.
Okay.
I feel like it'd be very weird if they brought back a Bryan Kendrick, because he had been writing for NXT before or something like that, or he had been, I don't know. I believe it is the same one.
Okay.
Also, originally, I think we talked about this on Wednesday. Strowman was meant to be the one to have the feud with Drew McIntyre at TLC. But clearly, he's not going to do that unless something changes very significantly in the next few weeks. Which they have postured concepts that, like, maybe Strowman's going to interfere with the triple threat next week, something like that. It looks like that might not happen, because Strowman apparently has a knee injury that he got at Survivor Series. So they're writing him off for now, and then they're going to bring him back as a heel again. And there's rumors that he might join Retribution.
I heard that rumor based on what he tweeted.
Yeah.
It might give him, you know, a better character, because I don't like his character right now. I wouldn't like him as a face or a heel, unless he was just another T-Bar or Mace. They can call him Train.
You know, they probably will. As you said, that they probably will do that.
B-Train. Because there's already an A-Train on the boys.
Maybe they can call him like the 7 Train, because 7 Train moves pretty fast.
What about Strainman?
Strainman.
Like Strowman? Strainman?
Okay. I want to see how Mustafa would interact with him. Braun's not exactly a follower of sorts.
Yeah. But if Braun does join Retribution, that kind of could lead to my sleeper cell theory. That Braun's a sleeper cell for the Fiend, because the Fiend appeared a couple times with Retribution.
It's possible. Would give Retribution, I think, a good... I don't know if this is what they would want necessarily as far as the writing is concerned, or if this would make sense, but it almost might help for them to have that level of, like, obvious star power. Dijak's obviously, like, a pretty big character and stuff like that, but I think having the recognition of Braun in the group might be like good for them, but I don't know if that. I feel like then that leads to the concern of like, oh well, is it just going to be like Braun Strowman of Retribution versus so and so, and we're never going to see T-Bar ever again?
No, I think this is exactly like this helps their motivation, which is to destroy WWE from the inside, and turning their biggest stars against them is exactly what they would want to do. So it all makes sense.
I'm saying more so from like a writer's perspective, like if they were to put Braun in, I worry that like then it would just result in Braun being, the figurehead of Retribution, and then we never see the actual members of Retribution again.
I don't think so, because having the numbers really helps them go against like stables like the Hurt Business, the New Day. They need Reckoning. They need Slapjack as their more cruiserweight person. What I can mainly see is like T-Bar or Mace, one of the two kind of being replaced by Braun, because I doubt they would want like all 5 of them, maybe all 6 in the ring at once, like outside of the ring. Or they might just have some of them come out for matches.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. I think that it'd be there's fewer ways for them to go wrong doing that than there are for them to, not fuck it up. So I can respect the idea. Let's quickly talk about NXT UK before getting into some vaguely upsetting news. So first things, most important part, Noam Dar, hero. Noam Dar from NXT UK, you've seen him a couple times. Quirky little dude. Because we've got Moment of Bliss, we've got KO show, all that shit. Noam Dar finally is going to get to host his own talk show on NXT UK.
Very fun.
And it's making me more and more angry with myself for not having tuned in recently. I desperately want to see that one. That I don't know if they have a solid day for when that's going to happen, or date rather, but I'm very excited and I really want to see what the fuck he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition to that, Drew McIntyre, aka the son Vince wishes he had, is hell-bent on pestering Vince until Vince either kicks him out of the WWE again or gives in. He wants to convince Vince to have an NXT UK / WWE UK pay-per-view. I think there's no better time than now after the whole what's his face versus Dragunov. Why can't I remember his name?
Walter.
That I remember Dragunov, but not fucking Walter. That's embarrassing. Anyways, after that match, I feel like there's no better time to do something like that.
Mm.
And it's one of those things, again, like along with the talk show, it's like one of those things where I'm like, they don't have that over there? What? But there's no better man, I think, for the job to annoy the shit out of Vince than the man who doesn't know when to stop talking.
Yeah. I don't think they even have that many titles. I know they have an NXT UK women's title. I don't know if they might have a tag title. I think they do. But they need like a regional title, kind of like the North American, the Intercontinental, the US.
North London.
The European title. There you go.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's more obvious. Obvious answer. Sure. But I definitely want to see that. Definitely also want to tune into more NXT UK, but that's my own personal problem.
Very short though.
It is very short. I remember when we watched that first episode after it came back, where we were both like, "Oh, I think it's like an hour."
Yeah.
So let's get into like the less fun news. Well, this one's actually pretty fun. The next piece of news is the next and last piece of news is not.
I have a little piece of not fun news that's also related to NXT UK. That's not really news, but more so something I just want to bring up real quick.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
For that?
Mm-hmm.
I fell asleep to Up, Up, Down, Down last night. I was trying to watch and I just passed the fuck out. I opened my laptop this morning, and I realized that I had been watching it for so long that the a Survivor Series episode that they did from like a couple years ago was on. I see Jack Gallagher, and I was like, I thought it was the new one. And I see him sitting there, and I was like, Jesus fuck!
Oh god.
Who was that goblin? And then I realized that it was Xavier Woods standing next to a bunch of people, and I was like, that can't be from recently. But anyways, go on.
So you know who Jordan Devlin is, right?
Oh, for fuck's sake, please don't start with that.
He's still wrestling for NXT UK.
Good shit, NXT, it's the home for freaks.
Where to begin about him? Explaining what happened to our audience. A combination of domestic abuse, sexual abuse, I think a little bit of rape sprinkled in too.
Not the best time to meme, but yeah.
There's never not a good time to meme.
Wait, continue.
Yeah, I'm so disappointed that he's still wrestling with NXT UK, even though I think he was fired from regular NXT for this stuff. But he's still on NXT UK. It's like you're not doing anything by just shoving him to a program that less people watch.
That's sort of a Pete Dunne problem in the end of the day, because like, isn't Pete Dunne kind of running the show a little bit over there? I might be totally mistaken on that.
He kind of is.
I could be so mistaken on that.
I know he's like the tenured guy, because he's been on regular NXT. And kind of related, Pete Dunne said that he, after last NXT, he said that he can run the show, he can run the brand, meaning NXT. Like he can solo run NXT on his back, on his shoulders.
Yes, I do know that he said that.
Hmm?
I saw that.
But yeah, I think he's the big guy over at NXT UK.
I mean, we can yell at NXT UK as much as we want, but it doesn't change the fact that we've also still got Austin Theory and Velveteen Dream.
Well, we don't know we still have Austin Theory.
So, no, he's just masked until future notice.
We haven't seen Dream in a little while.
Fuck. But going off that tune of less than fun stuff, so the WWE is starting to move into the Tropicana Thunderdome, if you will. They're having some problems. First things first, it's a baseball field. It's really difficult to pump in that same amount of noise that they always pump in a baseball field. Especially because I think they want the noise to be in the field as opposed to pumped through your speakers specifically. It's like, also they're having problems with flocks of pigeons. There are apparently flocks of pigeons that are becoming a nuisance as far as performing would be considered. So, I'm very excited to watch a pigeon get fucking Claymore kicked.
Roman spears a bird.
I think that Randy Orton get before he hit the bird with the fucking fastball. Just
Matt Riddle, he does his entrance, kicks up his sandals, and hits a bird with one of them.
Apparently it's like a real problem, and they don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. And I was like, isn't Tropicana Field a covered fucking field? The roof up? And as far as actually upsetting pieces of news go, Gilbert.
Hmm.
I don't know if you heard about this.
I did.
Gilbert, sweet man, had a heart attack last Wednesday. This past Wednesday. He's fine. He was released from the ICU. Yeah. Kind of sucks. Glad he's okay.
Yeah. But it's still worry because you don't really, like with heart attacks and strokes, it does damage to you.
Sure.
Um,
There's a lot of stuff nowadays you can do after having a heart attack where it's like just to kind of like reverse that damage. Strokes not so much, but I think being released from the ICU is the first step because going to the ICU is pretty bad. It's intensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But best wishes to Gilbert. Hopefully he recovers well.
And one final piece of news as I go to change the signs. Apparently, Pete Dunne is vegan because he watched Cowspiracy.
Sure, okay. Not gonna knock vegans, but like, at least
some of my best friends are vegans.
It's like looking at a flat Earth conspiracy video and like becoming very globally conscious, like climate change conscious. It's like, yeah, the means you did that were not great and misleading, but you're still on a good path.
I think the funny part for me about this is mainly that I have known so many people back in college that watched Cowspiracy once for like a class and then tried to go vegan for like a week and they just couldn't do it. Whenever I hear about success stories, I'm like, damn, really stick to your fucking guns, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting though to find wrestlers that are vegan. I feel like the whole thing about like people that are like, oh well, I can't go vegan because like I'm an athlete and I've got to build muscle and shit like that. And like you look at Pete Dunne, it's like, well, if he could do it without,
Bryan,
or without meat, yeah, it's like, well, like Pete Dunne's jacked as shit.
He is hugely jacked.
So it's like, if my dude can do all that without having a fucking ounce of steak, that's their argument.
Yeah.
Anywho.
All right. So matches and promos.
Lord, before my head falls off my fucking shoulders.
All right. So we started off with Jey in the ring, talking on the mic like he does with his big fat mouth. He's talking about, he's gloating about winning at Survivor Series. Not winning the match he was in, but beating Drew McIntyre. Who I guess was his real target. It wasn't his match. He helped Roman, and so that made him feel real good about himself. But then Roman chimed in, came out, and said that he didn't ask for his help. It's not his place.
Which, after the match, by the way, Ro, like, took Jay's shoulder and nodded at him. And I was like, oh, so he's cool with it. I guess he's not. I guess he had a couple days to think about it.
He's had, like, almost a week to think about it.
Thanksgiving didn't go well, I guess.
That table was small.
He tried to chop up the turkey.
Mm-hmm. But Roman came out and got all pissed off at Jey. Jey felt all sad. Roman left, and then Otis comes out as Jey is leaving. And they said that Otis is a match with Corbin. But then Jey goes back and grabs a chair and beats the shit out of Otis because he mad. I kind of like this, that they're just having him lash out, but like he can't lash out at anyone besides other wrestlers. Like he can't attack Roman at all because we've seen how that went. What's that look?
I tweeted and you tweeted.
Oh. Oh well, that's fine.
This is much better though. This is much better.
Thank you. Hope everyone goes to Twitter, our Twitter right now, at Pinfall Podcast, and likes the tweet I made. You won't know which one's which, but
go. You will, because I just deleted the one.
Okay, well, you'll know which one's mine now. At Pinfall Podcast.
I count my losses.
But Jey beats the shit out of Otis with chair. I'm seeing what they're doing with the really bringing down Otis and Tucker. They really brought down Tucker to jobber status, and Otis is now at that point where he's a nobody. Otis is a goddamn nobody right now, getting just beaten up for the sake of getting beaten up, being the young guy thrown on the team for no reason, didn't have a match or anything, was just told he's on the Survivor Series team. Great stuff, really great stuff. But then after that we had Dolph, Ziggler, and Robert Roode in the ring, calling out the Street Profits. And, yeah, then the Street Profits come out. And we immediately go into the Street Profits versus Dolph and Roode.
Yes, we do. Yeah. So, Street Profits, Dolph, Roode. We start with, real quick, before I jump into this, Dolph was being weird as shit today.
Was he?
During his fucking promo, Dolph was being a strange little fucker. Just saying weird ass shit the whole time. I cannot pinpoint it because my head hurts so bad that I can't remember like 5 minutes ago. Just know that I was sitting there and I was like,
yeah, I don't remember anything that he did that was weird.
He's a weird bird. We start with Dawkins versus Dolph. There's a headlock on Dolph. Montez gets in. There's a drop kick to Dolph. Roode gets in. Dawkins gets back in. There's a team facebuster to Robert Roode. Dawkins then sends Roode out. Dolph sends Dawkins out. Dawkins punches Dolph in the face. Montez goes up to the top rope, but misses the frog splash as Dolph rolls away from him. And we get a backbreaker to Montez from Robert Roode. Roode then kicks Montez in the spine. Montez manages to get a hip toss out on Roode. Dolph gets in. There's a famouser to Montez. Then Dolph rakes Tez's eyes while Mr. Charles Robinson tells Dawkins to go to the fucking apron and get out of the goddamn ring. Montez then punches Dolph, elbows Roode, punches Dolph, elbows, Montez punched Dolph, and he elbowed Roode. Punched Dolph. There was an elbow to Montez. He was punched, I believe. Something like that. It was very back and forth. Montez then dodges Dolph, sends him balls first to the middle turnbuckle. Dawkins gets in. Robert Roode gets in. There's some forearms and clotheslines and elbows and such to Mr. Roode. A facebuster to Dolph, and Dawkins then throws Roode across the ring. There's a bulldog to Roode, and then Dawkins' new fun and exciting fucking move, the corkscrew neckbreaker, as I've decided to call it. I think it sounds better than a spinning neckbreaker like stupid fucking Corey tried to call it. Yeah.
I think we should call it an upside down pound cake.
Maybe even better. Dawkins manages the anointment onto Roode. Montez gets in. Frog splashes Roode. Dolph breaks the cover. Dawkins interferes. Dolph super kicks Dawkins. Montez insecures Dolph. Roode rolls up Montez. It was worth it because we finally got to hear Robert Roode's song after they won. I said, yes, it is glorious. Thank you, Robert.
And after that, we have a little interview with Daniel Bryan.
Sweet boy.
Don't remember what he talked about. I'll be honest.
Because you were halfway through.
Yeah. I think Sami walked in at one point. And it'd be no. I'm thinking of the Biggie promo.
Would you like me to tell you what happens?
Please.
So Daniel was talking about his upcoming match against Sami. Says that Jay's angrier than ever, something like that, and that Sami's more delusional than ever. And basically just says, like, gotta kind of keep my guard up, but Sami's a goofball, and I'm just gonna fucking beat the shit out of him no matter what. That's the essence of the promo. Essence.
Okay. Okay. After that, we had an interview with the Mysterio family.
It's not a fucking cracker.
They're basically just talking about how Murphy's no longer a disciple, and they're still hanging on to Seth, despite him being gone and completely forgotten about this whole thing. Seth's gone, guys. You gotta let him go. He's dead. Let him go. And then Corbin comes in and is like, "You guys are serious right now? Like, you guys are pathetic. Corbin things, poorly written Corbin things."
Hey, listen, it's not poorly written if it's correct.
Yeah. But after that, we had Sami in the ring talking about how mad he is that he has to have a match the day after Thanksgiving. The day after a holiday, he has to have a match, but also he hates Thanksgiving because it's celebrating the death and genocide of indigenous people. I mean, he's got a good point. That was probably actual Sami like talking. But then Daniel Bryan comes out, interrupting him midpoint. And then we go into our match. Because Daniel Bryan doesn't really talk anymore. Daniel Bryan doesn't really do much besides wrestle a little bit. And talk about social distancing.
Flame on the Candle is very intense.
It is. I can see it on your face.
Yeah. I think the Symmetriptan might be starting to work because I can't breathe for shit. Yeah. So Sami versus Danny. There's an elbow stomp to Zayn, and then a shoulder tackle. Danny sends some knees into Sami's side before he pulls him into a shoulder submission. Sami fights out with an elbow to Daniel's face. There's a drop kick to Sami. Sami then kicks Daniel Bryan in the head, tosses him from the ring, shoves him to the barricade, goes to the top rope once they're back in the ring, but Daniel Bryan pushes him back. Daniel meets him up there and is pushed down. There's a kick to the face of Sami, though, after being pushed down, like sort of an upward drop kick. That's the antithesis of a drop kick.
Mm-hmm.
The upward drop kick, if you will, to the face of Sami as he still sits on that top rope. Daniel then goes to jump out onto Sami, but Sami sidesteps Daniel, sending him into the barricade. There's then a headlock on Daniel Bryan and some punches to his section. Then there's an elbow to the face of Sami, sending him down to the ground. Daniel then sentons Sami in the corner, get up to the top rope, and Daniel Bryan does something really fucking cool, which was he kind of gets Sami into a head scissors and sends him backwards back into the middle of the ring off that top rope. It was just like so direct and like concise. I was like, damn.
Kind of like a Hurricane Rana.
Yeah, actually, I think calling it head scissors was incorrect, so I apologize. Sami then drives Daniel Bryan into the post. There's a brain buster to Daniel Bryan on the apron where I said, oh my god, he just came back. Can we maybe not break his spine again? Small request, in my opinion. There's a blue thunderbomb to Daniel Bryan, at which point Corey says to Michael Cole, well, you know why they call it the blue thunderbomb, don't you? And Michael Cole says, no, why do they? Like, I don't know. And Corey says, you call yourself a journalist. And I was like, you know why they call it that, though? I don't know why they call it that. Now I don't have an explanation. Thanks, Corey. Daniel Bryan then goes through the second rope, diving onto Sami, sending him into the announce desk. He gets Zayn back in, dives out onto him again. Sami then runs away. Up the ramp, into the gorilla, seemingly to backstage. Daniel Bryan follows and then never returns. Sami, however, does return before the count out. Daniel is counted out, therefore he loses, does not get the opportunity to challenge for the Intercontinental Championship. Next Smackdown, I believe. The reason that Daniel Bryan never comes back is because Jey Uso attacks him. And Kevin Owens has to come out and break it up. And then he decides he's going to go threaten Jey, leading to Marcus.
Real quick, I do want to mention from that Sami and Daniel Bryan match, that finisher that Sami did onto Daniel Bryan was fucking brutal.
Which one?
When he basically did a suplex while on the apron and stepped off and basically just dropped Daniel onto the apron.
Brainbuster.
Yeah, that was... I'm shocked that Daniel Bryan took that bump like that.
That's what I was saying, though, is that, like, Danny just came back. Like, he's already got a fucked up spine.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather not see it get more fucked up. If we could avoid that.
Yeah.
Small requests.
But yeah, so after that we have Roman and Jey backstage. And they're talking. Roman's disappointed in Jey. Then Kevin Owens comes in, and he's like, "I am sick and tired of this family and how you're treating them, Roman. You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit too, Jey. Hate both of you. Have a good day." And then, obviously, we know where that's going. We know where that's going. It's gonna be, I'm based off of that, Jay's gonna just fuck up, Kevin, as we know later. But after that, we have Natalya versus Bianca.
This was a match. So Bayley comes out before the match even begins. And everyone's just kind of like, why are you fucking here? Corey Graves is pleased as punch. Bayley, however, also does remind us that she still has a standing challenge to Michael Cole to fight him. I want that. I want that mixed match.
Yeah, we should get it.
Should. Be tag team. It could be me and Bayley, the two Geminis, versus Michael Cole and Corey Graves.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Or we could do mixed tag. I'll go against Bayley. Michael Cole can take on Corey. No, actually, never mind. Let me continue with my original idea. Anyways, Natty then rolls. Let's start at the beginning. So Natty and Bianca are kind of just grappling for a little bit. Natty goes up. Bianca lifts her, but Natty ends up rolling through the move, trying to help Bianca. Natty then dodges Bianca, sending her shoulder first into the post. There's a suplex to Bianca, and then an inside cradle to Natty to really pin her. Natty then does the fucking full body submission that I can't look away from, where she like gets her like feet wrapped around her calves and then pulls her arms backwards so that she bridges. So fucking cool. So fluid. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Natty is then slung into the corner. She's then tossed to ringside. Bayley distracts her by talking a lot. Natty almost runs into Bayley. She comes after Bianca. Bianca then slugs Bayley. Natty gets Bianca back into the ring. Natty pushes Bayley outside of the ring while she stands on the apron. She sends an elbow back into her face. And then Bianca rolls Natty up. Win. Now everybody's mad because Bayley interfered, and Bayley is mad because people didn't care for that. You know?
Yeah.
You feel me? You feel me?
Tired.
It's great.
I mean, I'm tired of Natalya and Bianca and Bayley and
I did like this match for one reason and one reason alone, and that was because it looked Bianca actually work. At least Natty got like a move in.
Yeah.
There was like one or two times where Bianca like straight up looked like Jesus Christ. Like just tired. I was like, okay. Is this women's wrestling? Are we allowed to have that outside of the realm of Bayley and Sasha?
But after that we had, sorry, my notes are a little screwed up. We had Murphy versus Corbin.
Yeah. No promo needed. Let's discuss the most annoying fucking match in the world today.
This match really annoyed me.
It was like, Corbin wasn't even a fucking, like, heel at this point. I don't know what the fucking Mysterios have gotten into recently. But it was really frustrating. It reminded me of this one time when my dad was babysitting 4 kittens that my sister was fostering. And I was just trying to get a snack from the kitchen, and because they're kittens with like tiny little needle claws, they were trying to climb up the leg of my jeans, consistently sinking their claws into my leg, and I kept saying, please stop, and like picking them off one at a time. And then another one would start crawling up, and I was like, oh my god, I'm just gonna kill myself instead. Fine. That's what this reminded me of. I've never been so mad at an animal in my life. Because they were kittens. Because I'm a good person. Anyways, so Corbin elbows Murphy, then shoulder tackles him. He's then distracted by the Mysterios, who are popping up on the fucking apron like little whack-a-moles. Murphy takes advantage of that, kicks Corbin in the head. Corbin then shoulder tackles Murphy. Because every single time that Corbin's distracted, he does fall down a peg. Murphy gets a move in on him, but then Corbin comes back just as strong. So Corbin shoulder tackles Murphy again. Corbin goes to slide out of the ring and back in like he always does, but this time it was kind of for no reason. Just for Corbin to do Corbin things. But Elias stops him. I was like, bitch. He's not allowed to hit you, but get the fuck out of the way. He's twice your height. In doing so, there's a pump knee strike from Murphy to Corbin. Corbin tries to shove Murphy into the stairs, but Murphy dodges it, ends up shoving Corbin into the stairs. Deep 6 to Murphy. He goes for the pin, but Ray jumps up on the fucking apron again. And distracts Corbin. Corbin gets annoyed. He punches Murphy. Murphy then sidesteps Corbin as Corbin's running at him, sending Corbin into the buckle. Then Dom gets involved again. There's a pump knee strike to Corbin. Corbin gets his foot up on the rope because they're really right next to the rope, honestly. He gets his foot up on the rope during the cover to break the pin. Dominic shoves the foot off. For some reason, Corbin just can't get it back up there, which doesn't make any sense. But mind you, the referee is sitting right behind Corbin's head and Murphy's head, looking straight down at him. Where you can see Dominic. Jessica Carr, love you so much. What the fuck? Anyways, so yeah, Dominic shoves his foot off. Murphy wins. Corbin's pissed off because, like, holy fucking Christ, how is he supposed to win if he's fighting 4 fucking people? And thusly he says, next Friday, I want to fight you again. This time I'll be prepared. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean, Corbin?
You know, I can't believe they took little Murphy and made him into a heel with the Mysterios and ganged up on poor, insecure Corbin. Awful. It is horrendous. You're right, Splucha. The Murphy
Junior.
Mysterio line is very sus.
Disagree with you, honestly. In fact, Michael Cole even was like, "Yeah, I kind of think that the Mysterios are being dicks." It's like it's bad enough that I have to watch Murphy hover hand over Aaliyah's tits half the time now because like he's just like doesn't know what to do and she's just holding his arm there. That's bad enough. But something just feels off. And on top of something feeling off, if you're trying to tell me that the Mysterios are faces, they weren't faces tonight. They were fucking obnoxious. They were doing Bailey shit.
Do you think this match was revenge for Corbin throwing Ray off the roof at Money in the Bank?
I thought we moved past that once Ray lost an eye.
Liz, the whole reason this feud started in the first place with Seth and Ray was because Ray congratulated Seth on having a child. And there's so much from Money in the Bank that we're still stuck on. So much. Like Asuka.
I understand that there's some storylines that like I understand that there's some storylines where it's like shit that lasts in the WWE for years.
Mm-hmm.
But I've run out of patience. It's just it was just so fucking annoying to watch this match. Like I can't wrap my head around how much I was just sitting there like this is painful.
It was just so annoying.
It was really annoying. And like Charles Robinson's standing there just like, oh, I don't know what to do. And I was like,
yeah, Splucha said Seth's Friday night masochist gimmick was kind of the drizzling shits, and this is what we got from it. We should have gotten a lot more from Monday Night Messiah. Like, we should have walked away with a lot more. He should have caused a lot more chaos. Maybe recruited another disciple.
he could have gone full Jim Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He really could have. And they just said, oh no, here's Murphy, have fun, bye.
Yeah, he should have, like...
That's the Messiah, that's just goober. Just attack a friendship.
You know what they should have done? They should have extended, when they brought back Colt Bray for Extreme Rules, they should have kept him around for a little while. And there could be a Colt versus Colt feud. And it would be cross-brand, but still would have been cool for like Survivor Series or something.
It would have been. It's just like when you consider how cool cult storylines are and just like about any fucking genre. Like, I love a good fucking cult.
Midsommar.
Seth would have been perfect for that shit. It's just...
Yeah.
Now we're stuck here with this awkward storyline.
He never really got to the point, and this might have been due to the fact that there were no crowds, but he never really got to the point where he seemed like he was influential. And that's the big thing of a cult leader, is that they gotta be like influential and like almost almighty. He really wasn't.
Like, you influenced one guy that's not really saying that much.
You should have had a feud
just tells me that you found one weak-willed dude.
Should have had a feud with a Hurt Business.
And also, he could have taken in, like... He could have taken in Cedric. He could have taken in... Even Ricochet, potentially. He could have taken in... At this point now, he could have taken in Otis. It would have been so fucking cool. At least have, like, a stable.
Now, the only way they can recover it is by just bringing back the Beast Slayer. The only way.
It's one of those things where you have to assume, while I assume the Mysterio aspect of his feud is probably out of the books, I assume that when he does come back, there will be more Murphy beef. So you have to imagine that his character, when he comes back, is going to be something that's going to oppose Murphy's character.
I don't think so. I don't think they're going to continue that beef when he comes back, because he probably won't be coming back until Royal Rumble, and by that point, who knows what's going on with Murphy.
It's also just like one of those things where it's like, to see the slow amp up of Seth being like this cocky shit in the middle of the fucking ring with like OP and shit like that. It's like he went from that to a goddamn cult leader. He got one guy. Could have had so much more. And Seth delivers such good promos too that it's like, imagine like he's a fucking cult leader. He's got like 3 other people with him. Murphy turns around and starts doing some shitty stuff. They attack him because it's Seth's fucking cult, and some dude's stepping out of line. Better than this. Fucking better than this.
He should have had a title run as the Monday Night Messiah, and he didn't. I mean, maybe did he have the tag team titles when he was the Monday Night Messiah? Because I know him and Murphy were tag team champions on Raw right before Street Profits.
I believe so.
I think so. But
it's such a fucking shame, and it's such a waste.
He should have gone for like I know he went for the WWE title, but maybe he should have gotten the United States title, or gone for the Universal Championship. I don't know. I think
bringing Ray into the feud was ridiculous. You got absolutely nothing out of it.
Yeah.
And that was months long.
Yep. But moving on, we have a promo with Apollo Crews and Big E, or they're goofing around backstage, and then Sami comes in. I don't remember a whole lot of what is said, but a lot of it was just Sami being mad and upset, and Big E kind of goofing on him. And Sami is like, "You should congratulate me. You should, thank me or whatever." Big E's like, "Okay, all right," and shakes his hand and grips it really hard for 10 seconds. He's like, great job, appreciate you," as he's walking away. Oh no, he was trying to get to his interview with Kayla, and Big E was in the way. Amazing, beautiful, stunning. Big E's great. I love him. And did Daniel Bryan come in after Big E left, or did the promo end when Big E left? I can't remember. Yeah?
I'm not sure.
I think the promo just ended.
Right, no, the promo, because Kayla was like, "Hey, Sami, do you want to do your interview?" And he said, "Leave me alone."
Oh yeah, right, okay. But after
I kind of loved.
After that, we're back with Carmella.
Don't forget Billie Kay.
Oh right,
I need a very short promo with Billie Kay.
I didn't count that as a promo, but Billie Kay comes in as Corey and Cole are trying to do their transition. But Billie Kay walks in with her cute little space buns, and she has her headshots and resumes in hand, and she says, she gives them to him and says, "Hello, here are my headshots and resumes." What'd she say? Did she want to be hired as like a commentator or something?
She basically said, "If you guys can't find the words to describe what you're watching tonight, you can always hire me. I can do that." I was like, Billy, I love you. I love you so much.
Yeah.
At least, like, even though we aren't getting to see you fight, like, your promos are worth my time.
Which is, like, in my opinion, the real talent that Billy brings to WWE.
Also a good wrestler. It's just, it kind of gets lost sometimes because, like, every other cover, when, like, someone kicks out, she just screams at the ref, and you're like, oh, Billy, they kicked out. It's the rules. I'm sorry. I'm going to break that to you.
Yeah. But unfortunately, after that, we have to do Carmella. She's in some weird studio, sitting in a chair and reminiscing and beating up Sasha. And then she snaps for a drink, snaps again, and then a hand reaches in with a little champagne glass. And then, very cleverly, the hand turns to reveal the boss knuckles. And then it's Sasha who splashes the drink in her face, breaks the glass on the ground, and then beats the shit out of Carmella. And I loved it. I loved the end. Didn't love Carmella. But I loved Sasha's appearance and how she was revealed because it was actually really clever. And then yeah.
I was just gonna say that Carmella, like, actually made it worth our time.
Yeah.
Like, I can't stand Carmella as it is, but, like, Sasha came in. The moment Sasha's little boss brass knuckles came through, I was like, huh? We're having fun tonight, okay. For once in my life, I'm actually excited to see those goddamn things.
But after that, we had Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso as our main event.
Yeah, we did. Best thing in the world. Really, the ending was more so worth the price of admission.
Yeah, the actual match itself was just all right.
So we start with some chops to Jey. Jey rolls from the ring, and Kevin follows him to punch him. Sends him into the barricade. Jey gets back in, but is then thrown from the ring. First is an Irish whip, sending Kevin Owens shoulder first into the steel steps. We then see that Roman is watching from backstage. Paul Heyman stares at him like he's a ticking time bomb. Jey starts pulling on Kevin Owens' injured arm, pulling against the ropes. There's a punch to Kevin Owens. They start exchanging blows for a while. Kevin sentons onto Jey. He is then driven into the post. Jey dives from the ring to Kevin Owens' arm. So he dives from the ring and kind of just, like, lands in front of Kevin, who then just kind of has to, like, grab him. Like, oh yeah, I did catch you. Slammed into the post and super kicked twice. Kevin then sentons onto Jey in the ringside area, but the camera angle very much betrayed what the announcers were saying because Kevin Owens' ass landed about 10 inches from Jey's shoulder. Yeah, whatever. Jey then wrenches Kevin Owens' left arm before going back to work, kind of dismantling the goddamn thing. Kevin finally gets a leg up, starts unloading on Jey. Looks for the pop-up powerbomb, but no luck. They get to the center rope. Jey knocks Kevin down. Then Uso splashes onto him, but technically onto his knees. Kevin then does a weird little fucking thing, which I guess was maybe supposed to be a backbreaker, but looked more like a neck breaker because Jey landed on his neck.
Mm-hmm.
On Kevin's knee, which was just fucking painful looking. Cool, painful. Kevin attempts to stunner, but Jey dodges him. Jey then sends Kevin bad arm first into the post. Jey then decides, fuck a result. Goes down, gets a chair. Denalo's standing up top and was like, hey, you can't use that. You can't use that. You can't use that. And then he hits the chair. Kevin decides that he's not going down like that, though. He pulls a stunner off onto Jey, sends Jey from the ring. Shots all over the fucking place. And Kevin decides that he's going to take the last 4 minutes of the episode tonight to scream at the camera, to send a message to Roman. And Paul Heyman just stands there and goes, which was actually how I felt too at the time.
Oh boy. Oh man. Looks like Jey can't do fucking anything.
My favorite version of Jey, honestly. What he gets for Smackdown karaoke.
Yeah. Alright. So. Best of the night. Cat. She's the best of the night. Best of every night.
The PCW, she's always the best of the night.
The PCW. Nobody tunes in, but somehow keeps going. Just like us.
Purely by Pepita. Actually, yeah, there you go. She learns from the best. Survivor Series is just her versus Hercules.
I'd
like to see how that goes, Pete's.
Hercules, for those who don't know, was another cat at the shelter who bullied other cats, chased them around.
He was a bit of a dick.
Huge
cat
dick.
Standards are, Hercules was kind of a jackass.
Any day now. Any day. There we go. Alright, so promo of the night.
Come out.
We had Jey talking in the ring and Roman appearing. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. Dolph and Robert Roode talking in the ring, challenging the Street Profits. Very quick. It was okay. Exactly what you'd expect from Dolph and Roode. You had the Daniel Bryan interview, which was alright. You had the Mysterio family interview, which was ugh. You had Sami talking in the ring, which is okay. You had promo with Roman and Jey featuring Kevin Owens. That was fun because we got to see Kevin Owens snap a little bit. We had Big E messing around with Apollo and then fucking with Sami. This was really good. This was really funny because we got to see the best side of Big E. One who really likes to mess with people, but also like has like a serious side to him. And Sami who at the end of the day is can't really take shit from people. But this might also be teasing a TLC or something. Big E versus Sami for the Intercontinental title. I think having Big E take down Sami would be like the best way for him to really start a solo run.
Yeah.
After that, we had Carmelo's promo, which was half good, half bad, and that was it. So, my pick for promo of the night is no contest at all. It's Big E. Big E wins tonight.
I just love the way he was like super proud of you as he walked away from Sami.
Yeah.
It's like Big E's been really hitting it out of the park with these promos lately.
It's because they're not giving him much. They're not giving him much except these little promos, and it sucks.
At least he's doing well with these.
Yeah. At least he's in Gears of War.
Plus, now that we know that Daniel's probably going after the Universal title, this could open up a space for Big E.
Yeah.
Sami.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Alright, so Wrestler of the Night. It's Big E. Match of the Night, also Big E. But Wrestler of the Night, we started off with Street Profits versus Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Okay, didn't acknowledge what I said until like 5 minutes later. That's okay.
My brain took about 5 whole seconds to process everything you said.
My pick for this match, Street Profits versus Dolph and Roode, is Angelo Dawkins. Tez didn't get much time in the ring. That's why I'm not picking him. And Dolph and Roode are kind of uninteresting right now in the ring. Dolph has his moments. Roode for the most part is like kind of uninteresting. But Dawkins really stepped up his game recently, and that new move is so good. It is such a cool move.
Take an RKO and shove it up your ass at this point.
I'm gonna call it the upside down pound cake. So I'm
gonna keep calling it the corkscrew neck breaker.
Upside down pound cake.
Comes out on top. Whoever comes out on top, bragging rights, and we can claim that we named it.
Okay. I mean, even if you win, upside down pound cake's still a better name.
I kind of assumed that was going to be the case, so. Fair.
But we had Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. The match for the most part was a little, it was okay. But it really came alive for Sami towards the end. Daniel Bryan was like consistently Daniel Bryan throughout the whole thing. But I think the moments where Sami stepped up were really the best parts. Especially with that finisher at the end. My God, Sami, you're gonna kill Daniel Bryan. So I'll pick Sami for this match. And Sami always shows off his fantastic character. He's so talented.
I did like how he was like, I can't believe they're making me wrestle after Thanksgiving, which I don't believe in as a holiday. And I was like, is that Sami?
Then we had Murphy versus Corbin, and you know what? I am not picking Murphy out of spite. I'm picking Corbin.
Fair enough.
Corbin didn't need 3 people on the outside helping him. Corbin did his best.
Was I mistaken in realizing that there was no Mike Rome and no Greg Hamilton tonight? I don't think we had anybody announced tonight. I mean, nothing was a title match, but every once in a while you get people announced like ringside.
Yeah. Splucha, I'm tempted to pick Corbin for Wrestler of the Night, mostly because the Deep Six is a super cool looking move.
And his character acting was pretty good too.
He's a really good actor. It's just I
mean, honestly, the more frustrated he got, the more frustrated I got.
He's just written like shit. Like they don't know how to write Corbin besides being like a chicken shit heel. Like that's all they know him as. When he's got the talent and he can cut a hell of a promo using like actual real world stuff to back up what he's saying.
I mean, to be totally fair, as much as he usually is the chicken shit heel, he did straight up like call Murphy out and say, we're fighting again next week.
So. Yeah.
I feel like that's a little more bold than we normally get from him.
Yeah. But maybe they bring him around to be more of a face, which will be very difficult because for basically his entire career, Corbin's been a heel.
I wouldn't say that he's becoming more of a face. I think that he's just hitting everybody with equal opportunity.
No, he's a face because the Mysterios are goddamn heels, and I will stand by that.
Yeah, also fair. I'll go with you on that. Just as annoyed.
But lastly, we have Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso. And I'm going to give it to Kevin just because of the aftermath. Him going completely apeshit was fantastic. I loved that so much. Otherwise, both of them were kind of just decent in this match. Kevin did get that really nice neck breaker on Jey. But Kevin just going completely off the rails was worth the price of admission in and of itself. So, without further ado, I am completely underwhelmed today, and so I am willing to turn around on something. But my pick for Wrestler of the Night is Angelo Dawkins.
Call him Dawkins so much that when you said Angela, I was like, who? Did I miss somebody?
Big boy Docs.
I honestly thought that you were about to say Angel Garza, and I was like,
yeah, Angel Garza.
I don't think he's on this brand. But okay.
You agree?
It was an underwhelming night. But Dawkins always does come out looking real fucking good. If the Corbin fight had been longer, I probably would have gone with that though.
Yeah.
But because it was just such a fucking nuisance to watch, it was like
honorable mention to Corbin though, just out of spite of Murphy and Mysterio's. Asterisk, yeah.
Asterisk.
I'm not actually putting an asterisk, so you know.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so match of the night. We had Street Profits versus Dolph and Roode, the only tag team match today. Match was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was an actual match that like lasted and ended. Everyone kind of looked alright. Docs looked great. Tez looked good. Dolph looked pretty good. Roode, he was there. It was good. After that, we had Sami versus Daniel Bryan. This was a really good match. I mean, even though I slept through most of it, I looked at highlights afterwards, and what I did see of it was fantastic. That finisher, I won't get over that finisher because Sami's gonna fucking kill Daniel Bryan. He's going to. Daniel Bryan's gonna die because of that. Bree's gonna be a fucking widow at this point. Yeah.
I have a new Drozdov.
It was nice to have a match where Sami didn't win based on like cheating. Even though when he cheats, it's done in very clever ways. It's nice to know that he can actually wrestle and like is a very talented wrestler and can take on the best, which is Daniel Bryan. After that, we had Natalya versus Bianca. This match was not memorable for me. I'll be honest. I don't remember really anything that happened besides Bianca punching Bayley in the face. Which does set up for a really great matchup. I would love to see Bianca versus Bayley. But also I'm realizing that kind of sucks for Bayley because they've been putting her in the position of being the heel against black women.
I mean, to be fair, they put The Miz and John Morrison with Forgotten Sons against Lucha House Party and New Day, which...
To be fair, that was just one day.
That was painful, though. That was a very painful day.
It was. Sploocher just said, to be fair, Lars Sullivan exists.
Yeah, you know what? That's also, to be fair, WWE is run by Vince McMahon, so...
Does Lars Sullivan still exist, though? Because we haven't seen him in a little while.
Lars Sullivan's rage consumed him. So he ended up screaming at himself so much that he turned inside out, like a black hole.
Cool. All right, awesome. That's
all. Is this somewhere in the locker room now? They're
just cleaning him up.
I mean, you can't clean up a black hole. People just have to avoid it. It's like sucking in all lockers.
So is it in the
that's how that works.
4th floor break room?
I like to imagine that the locker room in the WWE is like a locker room at like a high school gym. I know it's not. But the concept still is there for me.
Just the wrestlers like whipping towels at each other.
Just slapping ass.
Pulling down their pants. You have John Morrison yelling at Big E, "Pants, yeah."
Oh my god. There's definitely a fan fiction about that, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. But after that we had Murphy versus Corbin, which was a very annoying match. I feel so bad for Corbin. And then we had
My least favorite wrestler of the night was Murphy.
Yeah, I agree. Then we had Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso, which the match itself was all right. It was decent. But the ending was great. With Kevin Owens just going off the rails, I thought that was really well done. What's so funny?
I was fucking around because I've got the 2 candles lit, so I've got this lid sitting on the desk, and I had this inside of it, and I was kind of like doing like a little Beyblade thing. Just like spinning around. I look over the cat. Her eyes are wide open. She hasn't like moved. She's like still like laying like all cute, but her eyes are wide open, just staring at me like, "Can you fucking stop? I love you."
All right. So I have to pick a best match tonight.
I know. Best of the best, if you will.
You know what? I'll go with Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I guess, there's one thing we can say about this, which is it led to some good fucking promos.
Yeah.
It came from good promos, and it led to good promos, and this not only kind of helps us get into a position where Daniel can challenge for the Universal title, but it also gives us the possibility of Big E going for the Intercontinental Championship. So I think for as crummy as SmackDown was tonight, which what do we expect nowadays? It wasn't bad.
To be fair, this is very much post pay-per-view SmackDown, where it's just setting up new feuds. For example, Sami and Big E, Bianca and Bayley, kind of Carmella and Sasha, really solidifying that feud. Corbin and Ray, or I guess Corbin and Murphy, maybe, I don't know.
To be fair, not to say to be fair for the 14th time tonight, but I just love the fact that there's 4 weeks between each pay-per-view. And that means that we spend half of the matches between those pay-per-views saying, well, this was a post-pay-per-view SmackDown, and this was a pre-pay-per-view SmackDown, so instead of just saying, what was SmackDown?
I mean, this was the whole definition of a post-pay-per-view SmackDown, because feuds wrapped up, so we have to move on to new ones and create new ones. That's the whole thing. Alright, so to run it... Oh, wait, I didn't hit transition. Alright, so to run it back, our promo of the night, Big E is proud of Sami Zayn. Wrestler of the night, Angelo Dawkins, and match of the night, Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. Liz, would you like to wrap us out?
These days you should run it forward, Mark.
Run it forward? Okay. Match of the night, Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. Wrestler of the night, Angelo Dawkins. Promo of the night, Big E is proud of Sami Zayn. Okay, anyway, let's go.
Yeah?
No.
Hmm? Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in. Maybe one day I'll actually be able to, be on this podcast without a migraine or without the inability to breathe. It'll be a good day. Yeah.
When pigs fly.
When the stars align and the planet sets on fucking fire like I truly expect it to at this point. Because if the planet weren't dying, I probably wouldn't have allergies right now because it'd be wintertime and I'd be freezing fucking cold, except it's 50 degrees at night and it's like we live in fucking Florida. Normal shit. Anyways, my house smells like onions. I hope you all had a great fucking Thanksgiving. Hope y'all stayed safe. Hope y'all didn't go shopping today. Hope y'all didn't buy a TV like Mark told you not to.
Don't buy a fucking Black Friday TV.
So if you did, that's absolutely on you. There's a tail.
Yep.
Perfectly framed booty. And we're turning. Looks like her tail's going into my beer. Sick. Please tune in on Monday. Yes. And yeah, if you tuned in tonight, thank you. If you tuned in the future, you know what? We're getting close to it. Happy fucking Hanukkah, you little bitches.
Woo!
You know? Rakata, all that shit. I'll be celebrating. Let me know if you'll be celebrating. We can light our candles together. No, we can't. We do this podcast after sundown, so fuck you. Light your candles at sundown. Don't fuck around. Anyways, with that threatening note, hope you tune in. Tune in on Monday. We'll be talking about Raw. I'll probably want to die because it'll be after vacation, and that's not fun.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed, hit the follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on Twitch, check out the YouTube. If you missed part of this podcast, why don't you check out the previous one? If you're watching on YouTube, check out the live show. You'll want to talk to us, I assume. Maybe. I don't know.
Nope.
Check out our Twitter at Pinfall Podcast. Check out our personal Twitters. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And check out the Universal Pokemon Federation on YouTube. The whole channel is going through a different structure change. And for those who don't know, it's combining WWE with Pokemon, or professional wrestling with Pokemon. It's super cool, super fun. I'm a member of it. Liz is the general manager of it.
Generally manage it.
Yeah. We're moving to a new episodic structure of stuff, so we're kind of getting full, almost wrestling episodes in videos rather than just individual videos. So we'll be releasing full episodes very soon. You won't want to miss it. It is super, super cool. You'll find out whether Courtney is accepting Don Pokemon's title challenge or not. And you'll see a new introduction to a brand new trainer. Alright, thank you everybody for watching. You all better say hi to the cat. And we'll see you on Monday.
Hi to the cat.
We'll see you on Monday for Monday Night Raw.
If you're not watching live, you still have to say hi to the cat. I will know if you didn't.
Yeah. Alright, good night everybody.